Actually, I loathe outlines, said Miss Mirabel with great feeling. Miss Cash closed her eyes as if her head hurt. And then Hen asked the question that made all the difference to us. "Why do you write?" he asked. Miss Mirabel sighed. There was a sudden hush in the room, as if Miss Mirabel was about to say something very important. As it turned out, she was. "I, myself, write to change my life, to make it come out the way I want it to," she said. "But other people write for other reasons, to see more closely what it is they are thinking about, what they may be afraid of. Sometimes writers write to solve a problem, to answer their own question. All these reasons are good reasons. And that is the most important thing I'll ever tell you. Maybe it is the most important thing you'll ever hear. Ever." "Some writers write to earn money," said Evie. "They do," said Miss Mirabel. "But that is only one reason to write, and usually not the most important." "What if we have nothing to write about?" I asked. "And how do we change life by writing?" I added. Miss Cash smiled. "Lucy doesn't think her life is very interesting," she said. My life wasn't interesting, unless you counted my mother's cancer. Her cancer filled up the house these days. Sadness filled up my house. Sadness was all I knew. How could I change that? "Well, she's wrong," said Miss Mirabel. She walked over to stand in front of me. "You have a story in there, Lucy," she said, touching my head. "Or a character, a place, a poem, a moment in time. When you find it, you will write it. Word after word after word after word," she whispered. The school bell rang. Miss Mirabel jumped slightly. No one moved. Then, after a moment, Miss Cash took Miss Mirabel's arm and they went out the door. We all picked up our notebooks and went off to try to change our lives. Word after word after word. Chapter 2. We sat under Henry's huge lilac bush next to his house, the four of us, May and Henry, Evie and I. In a month or two, the smell of lilacs would fill the air. "So, what do you think?" I asked. No one said, "What do you think about what?" Everyone knew what I meant. "I like her," said Evie, "even if she sends her pathetic kids to camp all summer long." "I think I love her," said Henry. "She tells the truth." "Or maybe not. Maybe she lies," I pointed out. "Right," said Hen, smiling. "Real and unreal are the same thing. So she says." "What do you suppose that means?" asked May. No one answered. "Do you think she is happily married?" asked Evie thoughtfully. "She might be very good for my father." "Evie, you can't just pick out some woman for your father," I said. "Why not?" said Evie. She turned and looked at me, her face fierce. "Why not?" Then her face crumpled and she began to cry. I put my arms around her. Henry's mother, Junie, put her iced tea glass on the windowsill and leaned out. "Is everything all right out here?" she asked. "Fine," said Henry. Junie, who knew better but didn't say so, backed away through the window. Junie was the only mother we called by her first name, because Henry did, and he called his father Max. Max worked at home because he loved Junie and spent his time working on the computer and looking at Junie. "They're like kids," said Hen once. "Sometimes I am the grown-up. I don't mind." The steam from a pie on the table rose out the window. I watched a drop of water slip down the glass of ice.